Hello everyone, happy Tuesday, I hope you're doing well. So today, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be redoing my 16 personalities test. And if you haven't heard of this, which 50% of you have not done it, I don't know if you haven't heard of it, but you didn't do it according to my Instagram, I seriously suggest you do it because it's a really fun way of figuring out, not necessarily scientifically figuring out, but just finding out more about yourself as a person. And I found, in my experience, was very realistic. Basically, it tells you a bit about your personality type. It gives you a 4-letter sort of code about who you are. And obviously a personality test is not going to be the definitive answer of who you are, and every single human is not going to fit perfectly into one of these 16 personality types. But the premise is that we kind of do fit into these types, and we all have one that is most similar to us. So I was like, actually no, it does really describe me. And as I was reading more into it, it was very accurate. But I do feel like since May 2019, with a pandemic in the middle of it and everything, a bit of a career change, moving several times, I just feel like I've changed a lot as a person. So I thought it'd be very interesting to actually give it a go and see what it is going to say that my personality is now. It's a free test that you can do. You just go onto www.16personalities.com. It says it only takes 10 minutes. Let's see about that. Right, you regularly make new friends. Now to press disagree there. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Yep, slightly agree. You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. No, I do not. I do not do that at all because I go by the thing of it is what it is. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. Medium disagree. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Slightly agree. I'm open to speaking to new people, but I am comfortable. When I'm comfortable around you, I'm really comfortable around you. And if I don't know you very well, I am more introverted. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like last time I did this, it was longer. I can't believe that's 10% already. You like to use organising tools like schedules and lists? Yes. Strongly agree. Definitely found that about myself, especially in the last 2 years. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. I think I do overthink and I do question myself. I'm working on that. I'm working on that mindset thing. But I would say slightly agree there. You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. Right, well this is an interesting one because obviously if you are a long-time subscriber, you'll know that following my head would be going back into the classroom because that's the logical thing to do. Following my heart is kind of what I'm doing right now. Definitely 2.5 years ago I would have said follow my head, but I think I'm more inclined now to follow my heart and see where it goes at the moment. So I'm going to have to press medium disagree there. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. No, I don't prefer it. I sometimes do that, but I don't prefer it, so I'm going to disagree. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. No, I disagree. I do worry about that a little bit. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. I think being a teacher, that is very much about that question, is when you're helping children to accomplish understanding, that's where you get a lot of that job satisfaction. But overall, I think my accomplishments are really important, so I'm going to have to press slightly disagree there. Don't get me wrong, I do like helping other people achieve what they need to achieve, but my accomplishments are also really important, so yeah. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. Slightly agree. I can step up if I need to, but it's not like, in an apprentice setting, for example, I wouldn't be the first one to be like, oh, I'll be project manager. No thank you. You're definitely not an artistic type of person. No, I strongly disagree. I think I am in different ways, not in drawing or painting, but in different ways. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. I wish. I'm gonna have to press medium disagree there. I wish I was that kind of person. Maybe one day. You enjoy watching people argue? No. Oh, reality TV. I have to press slightly disagree there. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. I don't know, I feel like sometimes when you wear the hijab, you're gonna have attention drawn to you because you look different and you are standing out, and that's not the point of hijab. But I think that, where being a hijabi, I do draw attention to myself, but I don't like go out my way to like be like, what do you think about this, and like make a big scene. So I slightly agree. Your mood can change very quickly. Agree, not very quickly. I'll say slightly disagree. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. Medium disagree. Nope. So I'm very empathetic. I do think, try to put myself in their shoes. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Or unfortunately, I'm going to have to press medium agree for that. Thinking about that flat pack up at the end there. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. No, not fascinated. So I think being a person of faith, as a Muslim, I think, we have a lot of information on what we believe will happen. So I'm going to press like medium disagree there. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. No, slightly disagree there. No. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. Slightly disagree. I think I do second guess, yeah. Again, something I'm working on, but after a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. I am going to say medium disagree. As I feel like if I'm exhausted, my battery is just down here. So my social battery is also down here. They're very much inclined to run parallel to each other. Whereas if I feel well rested and good, then I feel like I'm a better company to anyone else. You like to have a to-do list for each day. Strongly agree. Yep, absolutely. That's the only way I'm productive. If I don't have a to-do list, I don't even know what I get done in the day, but it's not, what I intended to do. You rarely feel insecure. Yeah, I would say slightly agree there now. Definitely. I'm replaced by I rarely feel insecure now, alhamdulillah. You avoid making phone calls. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I'm training myself to be better, but I have to put strongly agree there, unfortunately. It's something that's part of my business now, so I have to just bite the bullet and get on with it. And I'm fine when I'm on the phone, but I just don't like doing it. I don't know why. Is anyone else like that? Are you guys like that? I don't know. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. No, I'm going to put medium disagree. You'd love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. I mean, the thing with photography and even tutoring is that although you are doing things on your own term, you're still working with people, so medium disagree there. You often feel overwhelmed. I have definitely often been feeling overwhelmed recently, so I'm going to have to put a medium agree there. You feel confident about that things will work out for you. Slightly agree, yeah, because I think that's very much a faith-based thing, and that's it. That was actually much quicker than before. I think they've actually changed the test and shortened it, which is amazing. And see results. Okay, interesting. So I have got your personality type is adventurer. My numbers are ISFP-T. Interesting, very, very interesting, because these are different to before. So what I'm going to do now is actually pull up my old results, which I screenshotted. Back in 2019, when I did this test, I got the exact same personality type, which was adventurer. So my personality type, according to this test, hasn't changed, but my letters have. So back then I was ISFP-A, and now I'm ISFP-T. Looking at the statistics here, back then it said that I was 69% introverted. Now I'm 29% introverted and 71% introverted according to this test, which I think definitely has been impacted because of like the whole pandemic. I think we've had to become more introverted in a way because we've literally like been forced to stay away from people. So back then it said that I had 68% observancy, whereas now I'm 64% observant and 36% intuitive. I was 82% feeling, and now I am 68% feeling and 32% thinking. And I would actually agree with that. I think I was very much more channeled by my emotions and less thinking intuitively. So I really do agree with that. I think that is an accurate representation of where I'm at. And then tactics, this trait reflects our approach to work planning and decision making. So back then I was 54% prospecting, but now I'm 61% prospecting and 39% judging. Okay, and then identity, the last one, back then I was 57% assertive, and now I have become 53% turbulent. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. I'm not that surprised to hear about that, because obviously I just feel like career-wise everything's changed, and I've made big steps that are different, and so I suppose I'll be a little bit more turbulent and a little bit more uncertain because it's a new field. Adventure personalities are true artists, but not necessarily in the typical sense where they're out painting happy little trees, which I agree with. I am not massively artistically talented in terms of drawing and painting and things like that, but yeah, in terms of photography, makeup, that sort of thing, absolutely. Because my personality type has stayed the same, just the letters have changed slightly, which is interesting. A lot of what the information that they're giving here is going to remain the same. It's not going to be hugely different, but I do like this little bit here. It tells you like adventurers you might know. So Lana Del Rey is an adventurer, so is Avril Lavigne, so is Frida Kahlo, and so is Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, Jessica Alba. So there's so much information here. So you've got the introduction about what your personality type is like, and then you've got strengths and weaknesses. My strengths are that I am charming, sensitive to others, imaginative, passionate, curious, artistic. But my weaknesses are that I am fiercely independent. It says freedom of expression is often adventurers' top priority. Anything that interferes with that, like traditions and hard rules, create a sense of oppression for adventurer personalities. I don't know that I'm the most fiercely independent. I'm unpredictable as well. I don't know. I think I try to be more predictable than unpredictable, but I am a bit worried about planning for the future. So you just don't know what's going to come. Easily stressed. Yeah, my husband will definitely agree with that. Overly competitive, no. I would not agree with that unless it's something fun, like a game of bowling against my husband or something, or maybe with my siblings, but not, no, I don't know, that would not be a word I describe myself as personally. And then fluctuating self-esteem, yeah, I think I attach a lot of my self-esteem to what I deem as successful, which obviously is very subjective. So yeah, I can see where that might be coming from or might be relating to me. It also has a section on romantic relationships. Again, you've got to take these results with a pinch of salt, but it can give you an insight into who you are as a person, because honestly, the first time I remember doing this test was a good couple of years ago now. I remember feeling like, oh my goodness, like helped me to understand who I am, or has almost like helped me to tune into who I am in a way that I'd never had done before. It says people with the adventure personality type focus on their partners with little interest in dictating the mood of a situation with their own feelings. Adventurers may not be great long-term planners, preferring to let their partners take the lead when it comes to logic and strategy, but they almost never run out of things to do in the present. Also, caring and loyal, adventurers love finding ways to surprise their partners in fun little ways. Yeah, I actually totally agree with that. Like, I hate doing long-term planning. I leave all the holiday planning and trips and stuff like that to Iqra. He can plan all that stuff and do all the technical stuff, and I will keep things fun in the process. Definitely, that's so me. I agree with a lot of what that is saying. Friendships, adventurers are some of the most comfortable people around, laid back and spontaneous. People with adventure personality type won't bog things down with arguments or structured long-term plans. This is what I mean by this test. Like, it really does, when you read it, it feels like it's describing your life if you've done it as honestly and openly as you can. Because that's so true. That is so true. They're sensitive, much more so than most, and it takes time to build enough trust with new friends to open up and feel natural. Yes, absolutely, totally agree with that. There's really no better friend than adventurers for dropping the pretenses and enjoying low stress fun. Totally agree. Now, the bit that's interesting me most now is the two next parts, which are parenthood and career paths. So let's go into parenthood. When it comes to parenting, adventurers often feel right at home. Interesting. While no one could be said to be truly prepared for such a task, adventurers' personalities, natural warmth, practicality and relaxed nature help them to settle in and appreciate every moment of the joy and hardship that comes with raising a child. Oh, adventurers' greatest strength is arguably the joy to take in being with and helping their loved ones. Practical needs are taken care of from day one, and adventurous children can always count on something exciting to do or learn every day. People with the adventure personality type love fun, hands-on activities, and as their children grow, they are often encouraged to pick up extra hobbies that revolve around these kind of activities. Impromptu trips, home improvement projects like repainting bedrooms, or simply baking some treats together are all likely to be fond memories for adventurous children. None of this is to say that adventure parents are overbearing. In fact, they are one of the most relaxed personality types that there is when it comes to parenting. Adventurers believe that the only way to really have their children grow up to be open-minded and well-balanced people is to let them explore and experience new things, make mistakes and learn from them, and to always know that they'll be able to come home at the end of it. That is so true. Obviously, I'm not a parent at this moment in time. But that kind of goes on my philosophy with teaching as well. Like, I really think it's so important for children to be able to make mistakes, and I totally agree with that. I think that, again, comes from my background in developmental psychology, degree level. It's so important. Play is really important. All that stuff is very, very important to me. So it does blow my mind that this test almost affirms so much of what is already true internally, but sometimes when it's written out, it's like, oh, okay, interesting. The power of love. As their children grow into adolescence, adventurers sometimes struggle as well. Adventurous personalities need to know that their work and effort are appreciated, something teenagers aren't well known for expressing. It can take a lot of practice on adventurers' parts to learn the emotional control necessary to not overreact when things don't go the way they want. And honestly, at this present moment in my time, the most scariest thing for me about having children is when they become teenagers, that unhinged time in their lives. But it does say that in the end, though, adventurers are so much less likely to create the kinds of divides that other more rigid personality types sometimes drive between themselves and their children. Career paths. So when it comes to career world, adventurers need more than just a job. Wealth, power, structure, advancement, and security are all lesser goals to adventurous personalities' greatest need, which is creative freedom. Adventurers crave a tangible outlet for their imagination and a chance to express themselves artistically. Those placing their emphasis on predictability and long-term planning find that attempts to push those views on adventurers are about as effective as forcing open flames to point downwards. People with the adventure personality type are passionate experimenters, and whether they're aware of it or not, they are renowned trendsetters with their unique perspective and simple desire to be themselves. Adventurers are natural artists, musicians, and photographers, as well as designers of all stripes. Stop recording. I don't know how much you got there, but I need to reread this bit. So it says, the mindset of not wanting to plan for the future can hold them back from many of their ideal careers like psychology, counselling and teaching, which require long-term planning and often extensive certifications to get started. It takes a great deal of energy for adventurers to maintain focus on a single goal like that for so long, but it can make the day-to-day so much more rewarding for the rest of their lives. Now, it's so interesting to me because I went into university to study psychology, and then I went into teaching. And once I was thinking, around 8 months ago, I was wondering, should I leave teaching? What would I do instead? I would absolutely love to, be making way more money for my business, but that's not the case right now. So what could I do? I actually did consider counselling. So it's so interesting how those 3 areas are recommended as career paths for this personality type, because all 3 of those areas I enjoy and I find fulfillment in, and I find them really interesting. But I have a passion for the photography side of things. I just find it amazing. Run freelance and consulting work in just about any industry that the adventurer enjoys, whether organising charity events, working with hospitals to make patients' stay more pleasant, or laying stone to help make house a home. Adventurers always seem to find a way to make the world a little more beautiful and exciting, and to make a living in the process. Now, I'm hoping that is the case for me, but genuinely amazing. And then there's one section called workplace habits. They don't like to be controlled, they loathe being micromanaged. I mean, I don't mind being micromanaged within a school setting. I don't have any issues of authority in that sense, so I don't necessarily agree with that. But I do, and also it says that they're not well known for long-term focus. I feel like you do need to have long-term focus to become a teacher. Again, they did say already that to reach the goals of psychologist, teacher, counselling, you've got to put that work in. And I feel like I have done that. Among their peers, adventurers feel most comfortable working with equals and giving some advice in order to solve practical problems is right where their personality is like to be. While they may exhaust themselves if their role requires an extensive amount of social interaction, yes, they are otherwise quite charming and have excellent networking skills. I wouldn't say I've got excellent networking skills, but I would say that I've never really had issues with colleagues. Alhamdulillah, I've always really enjoyed getting to know people and working alongside people within the education field anyway. They're tolerant and friendly, usually just do what needs to be done regardless of whether their colleagues pull their own weight. At the end of the day though, adventurers are sensitive and need to know that these efforts are appreciated. Yes. A well-placed compliment goes a long way. Adventurers do let their personal goals affect their approach to their work, which can make them a little unpredictable, but this is balanced by the desire for harmony and willingness to find win-win solutions wherever possible. Yes. This is interesting. So having an adventurer as a manager, as a top role, this position feels the most unnatural to adventurers. Management. That is so true. They are not a domineering personality type and take no joy in exerting control over others, planning long-term goals, or disciplining unsatisfactory behaviour. Now, that for me just is, again, I'm like, yes, that's so true. I have never wanted to be a head teacher or a head of year or take control over a lot of stuff. And then that part there, disciplining unsatisfactory behaviour within a school setting, I don't, it's so important to be able to manage negative behaviour and behavioural issues, but it's definitely was not my favourite part of teaching at all. So I find that so interesting that that's on there. It also says that just because it feels strange doesn't mean adventure personalities aren't good at it. Their sensitivity allows them to be great listeners, helping them to align their subordinates' personal motivations with the task at hand. And then the last part here is the conclusion. So few personality types are as colourful and charming as adventurers. Known for their kindness and artistic skills, adventurers are great at finding exciting new things to explore and experience. Adventurers' creativity and down-to-earth attitudes are invaluable in many areas, including their own personal growth. Yet adventurers can be easily tripped up in areas where their focus on practical matters is more of a liability than an asset, whether it's finding or keeping a partner, reaching dazzling heights on the career ladder, or learning to plan ahead. Adventurers need to put in a conscious effort to develop their weaker traits and additional skills. Here as well, you may have muttered to yourself, wow, this is so accurate, it's a little creepy, or finally somebody understands me. You may even ask, how do they know more about me than the people I'm most closest to? This is not a trick. You feel understood because you were. We've studied how adventurers think and what they need to reach their full potential. And no, we did not spy on you. Many of the challenges you face and will face in the future have been overcome by other adventurers. You simply need to learn how they succeeded. But in order to do that, you need to have a plan, a personal roadmap. The best car in the world will not take you to the right place if you do not know where you want to go. We have told you how adventurers tend to behave in certain circumstances and what their key strengths and weaknesses are. So, interestingly enough, they have now, years later, got a premium profile option, which is basically what they're trying to say is that because they know your personality type so well, you can sign up to the premium thing and then they'll tell you exactly what you need to do to become the best type of adventurer, in my case, or whatever your personality type is for you, you can be, which is amazing. And it's quite smart that they've done that, because I think a lot of people are very interested in this. This has been taking millions and millions of time. Basically, they're saying that you can, pay $29 for the premium profile. I mean, it's pretty smart of them to do that. But anyway, this has become quite a long video, but I thought it'd be quite interesting, especially for those of you guys who have never taken a personality test and maybe wondered what it was like or were thinking about it. I 100% recommend you take it, because it does genuinely give you some insight into who you are and your strengths and weaknesses. Do I think you should use it to plan out your future life? Absolutely not. But it's a fun thing to do, and it's definitely an insightful little test to do. That and the love languages test are two ones that I really, really enjoy. Requires taking both of them with me. I would like to retake the love languages one, although I'm pretty sure that my order of the 5 love languages is the same. If you want to know more about that, then let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Let me know what else you want to see on the channel, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Take care. Bye.